That's life. That's what all the people say.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Well, today's Blackout Tuesday. Do you have your black square? Huh? Are you contributing to ending racism and showing support? Because if you don't have a black square, you're a racist, you hate black people, and you don't believe in justice. What? I don't understand how people can get to these conclusions based off nothing other than he's not going and conforming to the patterns of this world. I've got a serious question. I've been pondering this and I've been itching to get home to make this video. Okay, so I got home around 6 and I jumped on here and I was like, okay. And I got checked real quick. The Lord just told me, listen, why don't we pause? Let's take a break. Why don't you pray for a little bit, get your mind right? So I did that. I said, okay, got up, went to my living room, prayed for a little bit, and then knocked out for about 2 hours, and then just woke up. And I think I got it. I think I got what I'm trying to say. And I want to start with asking a real question that might sound condescending, but stay with me. What do you think you posting a black square is doing and is going to accomplish? I've tried thinking about it. I like to think of myself as a very linear thinker. I like to take information, hold it out here, look at it from all sides, and then try to make a logical conclusion as best I can, and as flawed as I do, because I'm a flawed human being, and sometimes I have wrong ideas, which is why I've stated on multiple occasions, hey man, listen, if you got an opinion different than me, then come to my house, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it, man. I'm not married to my ideas. I'm just telling you what I feel because as human beings, that's been what we do since forever. We share ideas, and through the sharing of ideas, beautiful things grow, right? That's what happens. And so I've tried thinking, okay, what is this doing? And I could not think of anything. It felt as useful as that little hashtag or that little sticker that was going on Instagram. Stay home, save lives. Which, by the way, sidebar, but let's talk about it. Where's the coronavirus? Coronavirus? Hello? Gone. Don't exist. That doesn't make you immediately go, if it doesn't make you wonder, I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how are you that asleep that you're not seeing that 2 weeks ago, the news was going, how do we get these sunbathers off the beach? They're going to spike deaths. And now you have the news media coverage going, protesters locking arms in arms, walking. What? What happened to 6 feet? We're getting played, people. You don't see it. It's so frustrating to me. Common sense is ironic because it's not so common, I'm finding out. You would think people would go, huh. Light would go off. No, not at all. And that's mind-blowing to me. It frustrates me so bad. I've constantly got to check my heart and go, and I've got to remind myself that whatever I think I know didn't come from me, man, because golly, the Bible talks about how even the knowledge that you have or the faith that you believe you have, I gave that to you. So no one can boast. So I'm not here standing on the platform and going, you idiots with the black squares. Man, a lot of us just don't know. It's out of ignorance. So that's why I was compelled to make this channel, to make this page and talk about things that I know are unpopular. You think I'm getting popular or more likes? I've probably been defriended more times than I can count. I've probably received less clout than my honest heart would have wanted. And I have to remind myself, listen, God didn't call me to be effective. He called me to be obedient, period. And I'm going to say what I got to say because I got a big mouth and a lot of people have opinions, but they're afraid to say it. So I'm going to say it. And I think we're getting played, y'all. 100%. There's not a bone in me that doesn't feel, oh, we are getting swayed to believe and feel what they want us to feel. And right now, you know what they're trying to pitch us? America is racist. Cops systematically hate and attack black people. And if you vote conservative, if you vote Republican, if you vote for Donald Trump, you're a racist who hates black people. What? This president has done more for black communities than any other president besides Abraham Lincoln. Facts. I had a friend tell me today before I came home from work, where's your square? Excuse me? Are you racist? What? Do you hate black people? What? I don't understand how people are able to come to this conclusion without talking to me, without knowing me, I don't feel comfortable conforming to the patterns of this world, man. I really don't. Something's off to me about it. Because if Black Lives Matter mattered, then it would be in cities where black on black crime is at stupid high rates. Chicago, Memorial Day weekend, 73 people shot themselves, black on black. Where's the media coverage? There's none. You know why? Because that's the norm. It's the norm over there. But no one goes in there and says, my brothers, my sisters, come on, we got to stop killing each other. Black lives matter. Nah, it's opportunistic. You see a white cop, a rare instance of a white cop killing a black man with excessive force, and this is the country. This is our nation. This is the police force. I came home and I wanted to make sure that my premise was concrete because I don't want to, I am essentially giving you my opinion, but I want to give you my opinion based on facts that I've myself been able to look up, not on Fox, not on some other right wing, whatever it is. I go directly to what is this? The NIJ, the National Institute of Justice, which apparently turns out that the Justice Department uses as research. I'm looking at these numbers. It was 7 pages long. Wait, excuse me. Oh, God. 12 pages long. And here are some statistics I'm just going to throw at you. This is not me saying anything other than quoting facts that I wrote down. 13% of the population of the United States, black. 50% of homicides, 50% of all homicides in the United States are committed by black people. Last year, 8 black men were killed by cops. 8. As opposed to 150 plus cops that were killed by civilians. 150 last year plus killed by civilians. 42% of those cop deaths were a result of black men. 42%. Okay? Black men make up 6% of the population. And they killed 42% of the cops that were murdered last year. And I say that to bring up this point because I was thinking, I'm trying to empathize with both sides. Cops and black people. Now, I know racism exists. I know racists exist. But statistically speaking, I cannot find enough evidence to say that our country, that our police force is systematically attacking black people and black culture. Don't see it. What I do see is that the media shows you what they want you to see, because they don't show you the black on black crime that's exponentially high. Go to Chicago. Go to Watts. You know, I've lived in Watts before, and I'll be honest with you, I hated it. I lived right in front of the train tracks. We would have bodies that would be on the side of the train tracks, and they would spray on the walls, and they go, crab here, right? Pointing, hey, there's a dead body here. Come get him. I've been in these neighborhoods. I've had my bike stolen at 3 a.m. trying to get my kid's mom Jack in the Box tacos. Like, if Black Lives Matter, they would go into these communities and try to talk to their own people and go, hey, man, come on. How do we do this? How do we stop working against ourselves? To me, the Black Lives Matter movement is so opportunistic. It has nothing to do with race. Come on. Come on, dude. Are you guys serious? You guys really believe our country is racist? So let's just ignore that for the last 8 years, back to back, we had a black president. Okay. What else? We have in 1960, 4% of the people said that they would have voted for a black president. Now, 87% approval. That's not change. What about interracial marriages? Those have also gone up. 4% to 12%. Who doesn't love sports? We all love them. Without being stereotypical, 80% of major amazing athletes, black. And we celebrate them. We love them. We wear their jerseys. We praise them. What's another one? Music industry. Majority, black. And we can't help but, right? We love them. Their music is fire. Actors, actresses, and we love them. We love them. We love them. You guys have a unique, God-given talent. And we love you guys. You guys don't think it's a little weird that it's an election year? You guys don't think it's a little weird that the economy was the best that we've ever seen, and it was just booming, just rolling? I remember at the beginning of 2020, we were just on a high. We were like, this is the year, baby. This was the year that everything was going to fall in place beautifully. Christmas was on Friday. Taco Tuesday was on Tuesday. Everything was just lying. 4th of July was on Friday. Thanksgiving was on Friday. Everything was just perfect. But it was an election year. Oh, my God. No, not another 4 years. Damn it. We can't control this president. He can't be manipulated by us because he has money already. Dang it. Yeah, I don't see that. Nah, of course not. You know why? Because you only see what they want you to see. See, the news feeds you stories. You don't see nothing that they don't want you to see. And so I've seen multiple videos. Police brutality. And then I see the real footage from a spectator that was in the thing, and they don't show you when the protester, boom, attacks the cop first. Nah, you can't see that because it destroys their narrative. Now, listen, do I think that maybe we need a justice reform? Sure. I do think we need to be educated a little more, but let me try to empathize with the police on this aspect and this aspect alone. See, when I was in the Army, what they would show us during training was footage of, because at the time I joined when we had the war in Iraq, they were showing us footage of Middle Eastern men and how they look normal, and then boom, blow it up around kids. I mean, it was mind blowing, the footage that we were exposed to. And so what happened is we now had at the back of our head, keep an eye, be vigilant. And so with that preface, know this, that when cops graduate, okay, hey, welcome to the Academy LAPD, boom, we just want to prepare you for what's coming, because you guys are the first line of defense against actual evil in the world. You guys understand this, right? Even the Bible says that he's put these institutions in place to push back darkness. Now, I've been to jail 6 times, and every time that I was in there, I was, no lie, thankful for the prison system. Even though I hated being in there and it was the worst experience ever, I would always think, oh my God, if there wasn't a prison system, I couldn't fathom these men walking around free, hearing their conversation, hearing what they talk about, hearing what they believe, hearing what they were in for. I was like, oh, whoa. So you have the police chief informing his cadets, listen, gentlemen, you're about to step into these streets. What you guys do is honorable. It's scary. But I want you to be aware of this, because, again, what they deal with is not what you deal with. You're a teller, you give away money. You're a food worker, you give away food. You work at retail, you fold clothes. And there's no shame in none of these things. Golly, we need you for everything. There's someone that makes toilet plungers. Bless you. All right? But you got, as a chief, right? Your cadets are your kids. I'm going to give you all the information that I can give you so that you're prepared. I have 2 kids, and I tell them the world as it is, raw. I don't sugarcoat them. I tell them who I used to be. I tell them what boys want. I tell them what girls, everything. Because if I don't tell them, the world's going to tell them. So I'm not going to let them beat me to it. So as a police chief, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, all right, gentlemen, here are the stats. Okay? Because numbers don't lie, right? Numbers don't lie. That's the beautiful thing about numbers. They're universal. Gentlemen, 50% of homicides in the United States, 50% are committed by just 13% of the population. 13% of the population. That's the black population. Commits 50% of the homicides. With that knowledge alone, you guys are aware that a cop is going to step out into the world on his toes, on his P's and Q's, weary of black people. All he knows is stats. Prior to him being in the police academy, I'm sure he had black friends. He doesn't have racism in him naturally. Because again, our country, as it stands, is not a racist country. Did we have a racist history? Sure. But we rectified it, and we're continuing to rectify it. It's not that it's perfect. It can always room for improvement. But we had half the country say black people are less than humans, and they should be our property. And you had the other half of the country that said, according to the Bible, I think they're made in God's image, and they have intrinsic value. Let's go to war. Thank God the North won, right? And here we are, Barack Obama. You got LeBron James, our Michael Jordan of today. We had Kobe Bryant, our Michael Jordan of today. Praised by millions of Americans. And I bring up sports not to be stereotypical, but sports has this unique power, just like music, that crosses interracial lines, right? You go to an event and you'll see all races hugging each other, loving each other, just because they have one common cause. So that's why I mentioned. So relax. But do I think that that the justice system can be improved? Always, man. Oh, come on. There's room for improvement in every section and every avenue of life. So how do we help, right? Because The Black Lives Matter movement is opportunistic. It's not based on any real facts, because if it were, then you'd go to, like I said, cities where black on black crime is ridiculous. Doesn't exist. How do you make that movement valid? Here's my opinion on it. You protest the way history has shown us it'll work. Now, and I'm going to refer Martin Luther King, and I know the opposition, because I love playing the devil's advocate, because if you're going to be a debater or you're going to have strong opinions that are very controversial, you've got to be able to see both sides. Otherwise, you're going to get hammered. Now, I know you're going to go, well, Martin Luther King ended up getting shot. I know this. Did you know that he knew this? Go listen to the last speech he gave April 3rd before he died on April 4th. I get goosebumps every time I hear it. He talks about how longevity has its place. He wants to live old. He wants to get there. But it doesn't matter anymore, right? Ooh, ooh. And he said, because he's been to the mountaintop, and it doesn't matter what happens to him, and he's ready. He knew people hated him. He knew that they were going to come after him. And I felt that God kind of told him it was coming, because it was so creepy to know that that was his last speech. And the next day, boom, head blown off. But you know what? Just like the Christian movement, man, the blood of martyrs has always fueled growth. I mean, when people go, the church is, it's just trying to get money and, blah, 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 blah. Sure, now, because there's wicked men in every avenue, and so they take advantage of it. Sure. But when this started, are you a Christian? Yes, sir. Lions. Are you a Christian? Crucify him. And you would think that would get people to stop, right? You see someone have nails driven through their hands. You see someone getting eaten by lions. You don't think you'd want to stop? But there's something about seeing people continuing to press in the face of oppression that grows you. And so, was Martin Luther King's mission easy? By no means. Oh my gosh, dude. The freedom walks, Rosa Parks, all this. Man, in their peaceful protests, they faced so much opposition. It was unreal. I love history, by the way. It was unreal. And they continued to press and press and press. And in the end, their mission was accomplished. Because at the end of the day, nothing worth fighting for is easy. See, that's what I think is wrong with our culture. Our culture wants everything now. And if I don't have it, I don't want it. Because we live in instant, We live in now, quick, 4G, 5G. I mean, we want everything at the speed of light. And so fighting for something we believe in, if it doesn't come now, if I don't see it in my lifetime, it's never coming. It's not been true. I mean, you look at our history, right? The wars we've been through and stuff. Wars weren't a week they were years. It's a battle. It's an uphill battle. But it's one that I think it's worth fighting for, right? And so, listen, how do you make Black Lives Matter movement matter? You stop fitting into the stereotype. You call out those that oppose what at the root you're trying to push forward, which is, hey, listen, Black Lives Matter. We're human beings. We're just like you. See, and when I say that, when there's looters and rioters and violence and all them, they're not like us. Those are not like us. Those are people that walk in darkness in a way that isn't the norm. I don't go and slap old ladies. I don't go and rob people. You know why? Because there's something about those depths of darkness that is unnatural. If you don't believe me, I want you to try to strangle somebody and see if it comes naturally to you. It doesn't. You know why? Because it's wrong within us. God says that he's written his law in our heart, and we know when something is intrinsically wrong. And so when people can step out of that, something's off. You make your movement count when you see rioters, looters, taggers. You grab them and you bring them to the police and you go, these are the men, not us. These are the men. You go to the police and you go, hey, listen, I appreciate you. I appreciate you going to war for me every day. I appreciate you holding back darkness. And you know what you do when you do that? You drop seeds into their heart. See, because they go into the line of duty knowing 50%, you got a 50% shot of getting killed. And also by a black man. But when you break out of the mold, out of the stereotype, they can't help but reconsider and want to see people differently. Because they'll remember the experiences of men and women that broke that stereotype. When you see rioters and looters, no one's calling them out. No one's saying, hey, don't do this. I mean, there's one-off instances and stuff. But if this was a real movement, you'd condemn that rather than praising it. When you praise it, you're the stereotype. You're the stereotype. There's nothing different about you. You're them. I honestly can't believe that you have superstars condoning this. You have celebrities bailing out what they're calling white supremacists. If there were white supremacists, why are you bailing them out? We're getting played, y'all. Come on. Come on. You think a post is going to solve things? You think a post brings awareness? Nah. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think you going and doing something. I think you going and being an outstanding citizen. I think you going out there and being somebody that people go, wow, and they're surprised by because of your humanity. But when you result in getting your point across the way a child does and throws a tantrum, it's hard to see you like a grown-up. You're a child. And you don't take a child that seriously. And I say that because sometimes kids go, I'm going to kill myself. And you don't go, okay, relax. Kids just talk out of emotion. Adults use their heads. I love black people. I love their culture. And I want to contribute, man. I want to be able to help. And how can I help? The only thing that I can think of for myself, me personally, right? Because I don't have a peace necessarily just standing here. Sitting here and just talking about it. The way I believe I help is I see a black man or woman and I treat them like a human being with respect and dignity. That's how I help. I see injustice and I call it out. I don't just let it be and slide and record. I'm going to go, what are you doing? I'll push and I'll... That's how you help. Your post is about as useful as you seeing a fire, building on fire, and you're going, oh my God. I'm going to post a picture of a firefighter. What? Boy, if you don't go get a hose or call somebody, do something. Actions speak louder than words, y'all. You know this, right? It's an old adage saying. Come on. We shouldn't be so content with these proverbial little... It's embarrassing. You're adults. Go do something. Stop following the crowd and going, I've contributed. I'm not a racist. my brother-in-law, he's a pastor. Love him very much. And he's on the opposite side of the spectrum of me. And we're going to have a conversation in about a week. Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. And I'm looking forward to it. Because again, listen, if I have a hole in my thinking, if there's a flaw in my thinking, show it to me. I'll chew on it. And if I'm wrong, I got no problem saying I'm wrong. You think I would tell you that I used to be a violent man, that I've been to jail, that, I used to be an alcoholic? You think I would tell you any of this if I had any shame or if I wasn't able to confront my own flaws? Nah. You know why? You know why I say them to you? Because I, with confidence, can tell you that's who I used to be. And there's a freedom there, right? And so if my mindset changes later on, I'll gladly go, man, I used to think this movement was racist. And if someone's able to present to me based on facts, not emotion or what they think, facts, numbers, give me numbers, I'll gladly go, hey, I was wrong. No problem. So, let me make sure I got everything. The world is crazy right now, huh? I mean, just bananas, man. I'm a contractor. I got asked to go board up a building on Melrose, and National Guard showed up, and I took photos, and I was just in awe that our country is where it's at right now, and no one sees it, or at least that's what it feels like. It feels like no one's seeing, like we're trying to be manipulated. It's like no one's seeing that they want us to think what they want us to think. I'm asking you guys, dude, question everything. You know, Hillary Clinton today is on trial for her little illegal nonsense that she handles. And Blackout, you like, something's weird, man. The same family that had Jeffrey Epstein killed. Have you guys seen that documentary? I mean, I was blown away. Go watch it. Highly recommend. I mean, it'll give you goosebumps down your back because you cannot believe. Well, I guess you can believe, but it's just shocking, dude. You're just like, people, first of all, got that kind of money. Second of all, are that corrupt. Third of all, it goes that deep. Mind blowing. And then all of a sudden, this man wakes up, hung. Cameras are off. Security's asleep. Get out of here. Right after he said, listen, I'm about to expose everybody who partook in my pedophilia, my pedophile ring. Clinton goes, I've never been on his island. And the flight log shows him there 23 times and still denies it. No one talks about it. Don't say nothing about the Clintons. Listen, if y'all don't see me in a week, somehow this circulated to them and I've been offed. Okay? It is the real deal out here, man. I mean, these people got a power that surpasses understanding. It truly does. But just, keep your eyes open, keep your head on the swivel. Try to check your emotions at the door, and try to think deeper, man. Listen. Golly, I can't believe a post and a sticker means you're contributing. It's just so juvenile. It's so juvenile to me. You know how I think you contribute? Go help. Go be different. Go call out injustice. Go grab people that are rioting and looting. Turn them in. You saw that mama that found her son throwing rocks at cops. She beat the dog hell out of him. Go do that. Go check your sons and daughters, man. This isn't how we do it, baby. It's not how we do it. But I appreciate you guys listening. If you made it this far, listen, I'm working on my opinions and how to get them across. It's still all very new to me, but I got a mouth on me. That's just the way God made me, and I'm gonna use it, man. I'm gonna freaking use it, man. I don't give it, right? Like I'm just. Before I leave, I'm gonna give a shout out to my friend Elise Casillas. She's very much she's on the opposite end of the spectrum as well, but I caught her doing it. She doesn't know this, but I caught her doing a post the other day, and she goes, even though my friend is a Trump supporter, I don't care, because I'm still going to be his friend, even if we have differences of opinion. And that to me was beautiful. I've lost so many friends because of my viewpoints and my ideologies and my, beliefs. And that's crazy. I don't think there's ever been a time where people have literally severed relationships because of viewpoints in the way that we do now. I'm sure that's always existed. Come on. My friend was a rapist. I'd be like, we're done here. Right? But what I'm saying is, in the way we think, man, that shouldn't be enough premise to end a relationship, because we're all different. Right? I'm Mexican and Salvi, you're Colombian, you're black, you're white, you're a Jew, you're Portuguese. We grew up differently. We've had different experiences. I've been to different places. You've been to different places. We're going to see the world differently. Let's talk about it. Dang. That's what the show should have been called. Let's talk about it. Damn it. All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate you guys staying this long, and hit me up in the comment section or write me a message directly. Let's talk about it. Dang, that's so good. Oh, I'm so upset. All right, y'all. I'm out.